Moved into a good spot. Hello, hello, my friends. How are you guys? We are going to be doing a little bit of crafting and chatting. And let me get my notification up and running so people know that I'm on. Y'all don't swipe on this one, but if you haven't bookmarked it, I would love it if you would do so. That way you guys can see when I am live. Hello, everyone. It's Jen with Four Hearts ABCs, and I was going to do a show this morning. Sorry, y'all. If you guys see flies like flying around, I'm so sorry. Flies are terrible right now. Anyways, so I was going to do a show today, but I tweaked my back. So we're going to craft instead. I'm going to sit here in a chair and I'm going to craft with y'all. And I have a train coming up on Friday, you guys. And it is a competition train that I host every month, and it's going to be the Zero to Hero. And even though I'm not part of the competition, I do like to participate. And so I have a couple of ideas. Hello, hello, my friends. I have a couple of things that I want to make over that possibly could be my zero project for that train. So I thought, I might as well um, come on here and, you know, chat with y'all, see what's going on with you, and get these projects taken care of. So I have three wooden items, you guys, that need to be made over. They're just pretty much plain raw wood. And so I thought, you know what? These are perfect to uh, decorate and get all the things going, you guys. So I'm not auctioning anything today, but I do have in my bin, I have a lot of new and fun items in there that you guys can partake in if you guys are interested. I just added some new prints. I'm kind of excited about those. And so there's like prints for junk journaling. You can use them for, um, let me see, like this one here. This one is new, and this one is like a folio. So you basically you get it, you cut it apart, and then you build something. So this is kind of, let me show you guys. This is so fun. I did this last night. So this is kind of a, I think I'm backwards for y'all. Okay, this is a folio, you guys. So I made this last night for my journal, but like I made this little pull out um journaling spot here, and then you flip it open, and this one here's got a little pocket, and you'll be able to, I'm going to put some journaling paper in there, and then here's another one that I'm going to add some journaling paper in there. So and then this part back here will be glued to my journal. But so this is kind of what a folio is. It's just a bunch of pieces you put together to make an interactive piece. But there are some really pretty prints in that folio that I just pinned that you could frame. You could do some different things with. So, anyways, so you guys, we're going to be painting today. I'm going to do the same thing basically to all of my pieces that I'm working with here. And so I have some water, I have some paint products and all kinds of different things sitting here. And I'll try to tell you guys what I'm using and that kind of stuff as I go along, and why I'm doing certain things. And hopefully it's helpful. I do have quite a few different people that I know that sell the products that I use. I don't sell any of these products, you guys. But you know, I do like to use them all. So, okay, the first thing I'm going to do, you guys, is I'm going to take wax. Okay, you could take an old candle that you no longer use. Sometimes I just go to the Dollar Tree and I will get one of their, big candles and just use that for crafting purposes. But I couldn't find any of my candles, so I went into my daughter's stash and grabbed one of her little melt-aways. Wax is wax, y'all. So I'm just gonna kind of just kind of just throw some wax on some different spots here and there on this wood. Um, and I will tell you, this wax is going to basically be a barrier, okay? Um, it's going to be a barrier where the wood or the paint is not really going to stick. Now, this is brand new wood. Like you could tell, this doesn't have any kind of treatment on it at all. Um, so, um, the paint that I put on this, it is going to just soak right into this wood. And so if I want any kind of um paint to not soak in, this wax is going to help with that. Um, so I'm just going to, just go along, add some wax here and there, and see if I can't keep the wax or the paint from like jamming into those spots. So, anyways, what are you guys up to today? It is I'm in Southern Oregon, you guys, and it is supposed to be rainy for oh gosh, I think like 4 days. It rained last night pretty good. I did run out to the store yesterday and I got a couple of things. But ooh, let's go over this knot. I bet you that'd be fun having that come out a little bit. Um, but yeah, I just ran out to the store and got a couple of things and it was just pouring rain. Um, but I am just going to paint over this and I'm probably going to decoupage on it. And this will either be something I just put in one of my cells or um, it may very well be my zero for my zero to hero. You guys, that's on Friday. So if you guys want to come check us out, I'll be kicking off that train Friday late morning. It may be afternoon for some of you guys. I'm in the Pacific Coast, so a lot of times my stuff is early for me, but not for y'all. But anyway, so I'm making these projects over so I can, um, you know, upcycle them for y'all. But then I want to, let's get a little bit on these tops here. But I also need a project upcycled for my zero to hero train. So we're going to just paint and have fun today, y'all, while my back is seized up and not really playing nice. And so there we go. So I'm going to do the same process on all of my pieces today. And we'll see how they turn out. Okay, let me see if I can't find something to kind of scrape. Oh, here, this will work. I'll just use my scrape some of this out of the way. That wax is kind of messy, y'all. Okay, so there's the wax. The wax is where I don't want the paint to really stick and soak in, okay? Then my next step, you guys, is I'm gonna take the let's go where it's not backwards for you guys. I'm gonna take the Extra Bond, and this is from Sweet Pickens, and yes, wax resist, exactly. I'm going to take the Extra Bond from Sweet Pickens. Now, you use this in the milk paint that they sell, and it helps the paint like stick to the surface better so that you're not going to get the flakiness, you're not going to get the crackle, you're not going to get that kind of stuff. But there's been a and I can't really remember what they call it. But anyways, there's a new method to using this and it works really well. And that is you use it as a primer. and you put it on first. And you oop, I don't want that on there. You add it to your, let's see if this will work. I don't know. I might make a mess, y'all. Um, you add it to your piece that you're using to basically force your piece to crackle. Okay. Um, so I'm gonna put this on here and we'll see if it works, y'all. I'm not 100% sure. I've never done it on raw wood. I have done it on other pieces and it works really, really well, y'all. Like it crackles really good and it does not come up. Like, you know how it sometimes it'll crackle and then it'll just chip off. It does not chip off with this method, which is really fun and nice. So I'm just going to put it kind of here and there where I would really like to see, like, I don't want my whole project to be crackled, but I would like it um, to get some crackle. And I want to put it up against some of that wax that I put there. So like it's crackling, but then it's chipped off, if that makes sense. Um, so I'm just going to go around and put this kind of where I want it to crackle and to give some fun to my piece. Um, and then we're going to let that dry. And while that dries, we will go and prep our next piece. And y'all, I don't want to like set this down and get it all wet and gross, but I also really want to get it done, get it going here for y'all. So where are you guys watching from? What are you guys doing today? What's on your to-do list? I sent my son out to run my errands this morning. North Carolina. I tell you, I was born in North Carolina, my friend. I've not been. It is on my list of places to see and visit. So, how's the weather in North Carolina? Are you guys, warming up? Are you still kind of in? We were warming up, and then all of a sudden, like we just dropped back down, and I don't know. It's kind of weird. Um, I mean, I guess that's just Oregon weather. You never know what you're gonna get. Um, okay. I said I just kind of wanted this to look like it's been around for a hot minute with the paint that I'm gonna put on it. Um, tropical, yeah. It's warming up, getting muggy. Um, I wanted this to look like it's kind of been around for a hot minute with all the paint and stuff that I'm putting on it. So, um, we'll see if it works out the way I'm hoping. Okay, so I've kind of got that on there. I think I need just a little bit on the inside here. Just a little bit. Now, you guys, um, and you could take like school glue and add school glue to your project before you apply the paint, and you will get uh, crackle for sure. But when you do that method, just know that how much school glue you add, the thickness of that is really what determines um, how thick your crackles are. Like I've had them where I've had some substantial um crackling on my pieces because I put it on super thick. Um which is kind of fun if that's the look you're going for. It's really fun. Okay, so here is my next piece that I'm going to work on. This bottom board was screwed down to the bottom here. My husband unscrewed it for me, and Now we're going to get this painted up. And what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to use this top for my decoupage paper to go on. And I'm probably going to do the whole thing. But I think the sides are where I'm going to add the colored paint on this. So this is where I'm going to want to do the treatment of the resist and um, the crackle. Okay. So here we go. I'll just add that here and there, just kind of making it go wherever. There's no right, there's no wrong, there's just get it on. So there we go. Sorry if I'm shaking, y'all. And okay. So there's my resist on there. Now to get the extra bond on there to get a little bit of crackle, and just gonna put it just kind of anywhere. I think I might even put a little bit on the bottom and the top corners a little bit. So what is your guys' plans today? What are you guys up to? Like I said, I was gonna go on and do a show. I was gonna do a mini show this morning or this early afternoon, and not playing nice today. So I was like, yeah, I don't think we're gonna do that. I think we are going to just sit in the craft chair and craft this morning. It's morning for me still here, y'all. Almost afternoon though. But I just decided it was probably not meant to be to get on and do the show. Um, so that's what we're doing here. Sent my son out to do some errands. Hopefully it doesn't rain on him and he can get back before the rain starts coming down. So, okay, there we go. Like not a whole lot on this one, just because we are going to be decoupaging a lot on that top. I am going to though be painting these the handles, and so I think maybe I will add a little bit of the resist and the crackle on the handle, and then let that dry. Some crackle going on there. And like I have a little bit of a spot there where it looks like it was scratched. I just won't highlight that by putting a crackle or anything on that. I'll just let the paint kind of cover that up. My in frame here. Scooch. Okay. And then I'm just going to do the same thing to the other handle. Just kind of add a little bit of resist on there. And there we go. And then I'll just crackle in other spots. All right. Okay, we'll just let that dry and I'll show you guys my third piece that I'm working on. So, oh my goodness, stretch. All right, so this one here, y'all, it's just a box. Just a box. It does have handles that it came with that we took out. And so this wax, I tell you. So what I'm going to be doing to this one is decoupaging on the inside, and then, you know, kind of making it where it sets up. So I want to keep that in mind as I'm going through and getting my piece prepped. And I'm just doing the same thing that I did before. Ooh, I am shaking, y'all. Sorry, guys. Just kind of going through and getting resist wax put on there. Just kind of randomly. There's no right, there's no wrong. It's just get her on. And then there we go. And this is not an old piece. This is I don't think any of these pieces are old, to be honest. These were just pieces that were found at the thrift store that I think were bought in modern and um but we're gonna make them over and we're gonna make them cute. Now I do want to make sure that I get a little bit of that treatment on the inside because we are going to have the inside be part of the focus of this project. So, well, hello, my friend. How are you? We are just chatting and crafting. How are things in your area? What are you up to today? We are just working on projects. This girl's got a bad back today, and so I canceled my shows, my selling shows, and I'm just crafting. Just crafting. And you might as well craft with friends, right? You might as well. If you're gonna do it, you might as well. Well, that's awesome. We're gonna paint and we're gonna decoupage. And right now I am working with putting on some extra bond from Sweet Pickins onto my projects so that they'll crackle and look cute, hopefully. And then I waxed to have it resist my paint. And I'm working on my Zero to Hero project. I'm not sure I'm doing 3 projects. I'm not sure which one of these is going to end up being the one. But yeah, we are just getting some painting done. And I got some new prints though. I made some new prints and put them in the shop. I'm excited about those, and I actually just sent my son out for to run some errands for me, and I'm having him grab some of the new prints from the print shop so that I can show y'all if he gets them back in time. And also maybe start playing with some of them because I'm really excited about them. Some of them, it's actually surprising. I don't normally like some. I'm like, oh, that's not really normally my style. But I got so excited when I saw some of them that I'm like, oh, I gotta make something with that. So, all right. So I'm just adding, you guys. I'm just adding this on. It's gonna create crackle, hopefully. This is super porous wood though. And so we'll see how well this method works with this wood. Okay, so there's my 3 wood projects all done with the same process. Now I did use like this sponge for the extra bond because it doesn't hurt my feelings if this doesn't get washed out in time, which it most likely will not because I don't have anything close by to put it in. And then I added wax to different areas so that it would resist the paint. So that's spread on there as well. And so now I have all 3 projects all treated the same. We're going to put this one aside and I'm going to grab my first one that I was working on, that tote. And oh my goodness. Oh, and reach down, y'all. And we're just gonna hit it with a little heat gun, and I'm just going to try to speed up the process of that extra bond drying. You don't get too close though, because you don't want to burn your product. You just want to like speed up the process. So, um, and I really don't want to melt that wax too much either. Um, I just want to speed it along, y'all. Is that too loud for you guys? Let me know if that's too loud. Welcome in. Thank you guys for being here. Check out my bin, y'all. Check out my bin. I got some new prints and stuff in there. Some really fun projects. Okay. Get that Ryan. Try to focus a little bit more on just the areas that have that extra bond on there. So hopefully these will turn out the way I want them to. And one of them, you guys will have to let me know which one you think I should enter into the Zero to Hero. It's a friendly upcycling competition. And that's going to be on Friday, y'all. On Friday. So bookmark that. It's a good day. Everybody's got 10-minute slots. And so they have 10 minutes to share with you their Zero to Hero item. And it's just basically an item that, basically was trash or was free to them or cost them less than $5. And they're going to make it over and then bring it to you guys in auction. And the person who gets the most for their auction item is the winner for the month. And it's just really fun. Just a fun little competition. And okay. Oh, hopefully that's done enough. Done enough. Okay. So there we go. I kind of dried it down. It's not 100% yet. But okay, here's what I did. I grabbed Sweet Pickins in the color O Olive. Okay. And that's the first step that I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be adding this on to most of my project here today. And so what you do is um, you take your milk paint and you add equal parts water to equal parts uh, paint powder, okay? And then you mix it up, and they say about 10 minutes you mix it, and then you set it aside, or you mix it up for a couple minutes and then you set it aside, and it basically makes paint, y'all. And I tend to like um to put a little bit less water, like a tiny bit less water than what is the equal. And that just helps so that you can it just leaves it a little bit thicker. And that's always it's a little bit easier to work with. Sometimes you get more crackle that way. So but it does bubble up, you guys. So you definitely want to let it set for that 10 minutes. And you can get it where it's super chunky and that kind of stuff. But you only want to mix up what you think you're going to use. You can technically put it in the fridge and use it the next day, but it's very temperamental. And I will say that milk paint is one of those products that you are never going to really know what your end result is going to be. There is no guarantees. There's no way of really knowing what you're going to be getting when you use this product. But it's also a really, sorry, I'm just trying to get stuff out of the bottom of my container here. But it's also a really cool product to use. So, okay, so this again is just raw wood, y'all. So this thing is going to soak this paint up like no one's business. And I was half tempted to actually, put a primer or another part in here so that it didn't soak up as much paint, but I'm just gonna go for it. we're just going to go for it. And if it soaks up the paint real bad, it is what it is. And I can always make some more. But because it's going to soak up that paint really a lot, I am not going to anticipate on getting any kind of crackle, any kind of anything from this paint on the parts that I did not put any kind of treatment on. So the spots that I put the extra bond on, I'm hoping I'll get crackle. The spots that I put the wax on, I'm hoping I'm going to get the paint to resist. But you never know. You never know with milk paint exactly what's going to happen. And that's, just part of the journey. If you're one of those crafters that you really want to know what you're going to be getting, then this would not necessarily be the paint product for you. You would definitely want to go with something else. Um, Another thing about milk paint is it has to be sealed at the end of the project. You have to seal it in, otherwise it can be reactivated, and that's not always a good thing. So you can seal it with wax, you can seal it with liquid sealer. There's a lot of options, but it does have to be sealed for sure. Welcome in. If you guys are just joining us, we're just chatting and crafting. And, if you guys want to buy something out of the bin, that would be awesome. I've got some new prints in there. We've got some playing cards. Got all kinds of goodies. So, and I actually just made some new prints. So I'm really excited about those. We've got the dog prints that are tagged at the bottom. I've also added in some new cat prints. Those are pretty fun. I know there's a lot of dog and cat lovers, and so those are really sweet. I really like the way those prints look. Well, hello, Marianne. Y'all, if you guys are not following my mod there, Little Miss Crafty, y'all need to give her a follow. She is an amazing crafter as well. And hey, so I'm working with Milk Paint by Sweet Pickins, O Olive. I've done a wax treatment and a extra bond treatment in different parts of this wooden tote, and we're just painting away. I did the same thing to all the surfaces though, on 3 different projects. They're all wooden, and they're all going to basically get the same process going on, and we'll see if they react different to the milk paint or not. But so yeah, really good. I like this product though. I've used it. I've had lots of success. I've had a lot of failures though. I'm not gonna lie. I've had a lot of failures. But it's just paint, y'all. You can always sand it off, try again, or whatever the deal is, you can always make it work out. But milk paint is definitely one of those that you don't really know what your end results are going to be. You just got to trust the process and just go for it. So, all right. So I'm getting the inside painted, this O Olive. I'm going to paint part of the outside in the O Olive, and then I'm going to paint another part in the DIY paint line, and get that prepped so that I can put that decoupage paper on where I want it. So, and when you guys are using decoupage paper, I mean, it's totally up to you on your projects, but if you want your image on your decoupage paper, whether you're using rice paper or regular paper, whatever it is, you want to paint it a light color, white, a light cream, something like that, to help your image pop. If you don't, you will, because it's, not necessarily see-through, but you won't get as crisp of an image and as bright if you don't prep your surface in that way. Okay, I think that's pretty well painted there and covered. Now I'll start making sure I get my sides over here done. And here's the fun part, because now we're going to start going over those parts that I added those treatments on, and start seeing if we get resist, start seeing if we get the crackle. So here's the fun part. All right. So like I said, what are you guys up to today besides watching me paint on Whatnot? What are y'all up to? I think we have to go this evening, from what I'm gathering. I think we have to go this evening and go get my daughter's sheep pen at the fairgrounds set up. And I think her little sheep goes to the fair tomorrow. And so we'll see how that all goes. It's our first time doing a animal for FFA, so we'll see how this goes. She's kind of become a little attached to her lamb. It's kind of bittersweet, but that's part of the process. You gotta know what you're getting yourself into when you do these kinds of things, huh? So he is a very sweet animal, though. We've never had a farm animal like that before. Of course, we've had, chickens and ducks and, that kind of stuff. But, oh, thank you so much. She has learned a lot and she's had a lot of fun with him. But, like I said, it's definitely going to be bittersweet to take him to market, So, he's a cute animal. I'm sure my neighbors will be glad for him to go, though. He does make quite a bit of noise, but that's all right. That's all right. We live in the woods, and hey, somebody down the road from us has a donkey. So, I mean, it could be worse, right? Could be worse. I know. And she wants to be her goal. She's 17, and as long as she could talk, she's talked about animals, and she wants to be a veterinarian. That's what she's going to go to school for, and right, yeah, that's what we're kind of hoping for that, because if you guys, did you know that veterinarians actually have to go to school than a doctor? Longer than a doctor. They have to go for 8 years. It's an 8-year program to be a veterinarian. So she's got a long college career in front of her, and but I am happy to report she did just get her first like official school offer. But it's kind of interesting because she's only a junior. So she messaged the guy from the school and asked if the offer would still extend um to the year that she actually will graduate. So we'll see how that goes. But it was actually an offer through Cheer. So yeah, it's really exciting. So we've been talking about her possibly just going to junior college on, for her prereqs unless she gets a scholarship to a university. And so to get that to come through, I did know, like, her cheer coach did say that she had, um, ooh, look at that, y'all. Can you guys see that? Like it where it's resisting. Um, they did say that she did have a school looking at her. But I don't know how that works. Like she's my first to she's my first to do anything like that. So it's gonna be a learning process for us for sure. But um yeah, but she has to learn, as a veterinarian, you have to learn to let go of the critters, and you're gonna save some, you're gonna lose some, and that kind of thing. Um, so this is a good process. This is a good thing for her. And like I said, we've had chickens, we've had ducks, we've had. Ooh, that resist is working really, really well, really well. Okay, here we go. Let's do this side. Now this is the side that I want to. Did I not paint that, or did that just resist? Let's see. This is the side that I want to decoupage on. So I'm not going to fully paint the milk paint on there because I am going to need to go back with the white that I'm going to use. But I am going to at least get those edges and see if we can't get some of that crackle and resist going on. So, y'all, flies, I tell you. We have been fighting them really bad. Is it bad anywhere else, y'all? Are you guys dealing with that? Like, what the heck? They're just terrible. Okay. Yeah, I'm not really sure how the decoupaging is going to go around those little knobs there, but we'll figure that out when we get there. We'll figure that out. That's part of crafting, right? It's all just a see as you go kind of a thing. Nothing's ever 100% the way you're going to do it. But I think that's part of the fun of the process, though, myself, is just kind of seeing how everything plays out. All right. You guys, I went to a thrift store and they had three of these totes, all just completely raw wood. I don't know if it was like somebody bought them and then decided not to use them, or if it was like a craft project that like they made them and they're handmade. I don't even know. But I was like, yes, I will put those in the cart. I gotta remember to grab it in the right spot so I don't mess up my paint. What do you guys think of this olive color? Now this paint will dry down lighter. This is one of those paints that dries down lighter. But I am going to probably, I'm planning on using some dark wax with it. So that'll darken it up a little bit. It is a good neutral, isn't it? I have in the, woo, I'm going for some crackle and some chippiness, resist and stuff. And then because it is just raw wood, some of it I know is just going to soak right in and act like normal paint. So we're kind of going for a bunch of different results, I guess. And then I'm decoupaging on part of them. So What do you think of those new prints, Little Miss Crafty? I think they're so good. I was so excited to get those ones up. And I'm still working on more, but oh, you're checking them out right now. All right. Well, yeah, check them out. Let me know what you think. Ah, all right. My goodness, that wax is resisting something crazy. Like I don't even think that's going to be a crack or a chip. I think that's just going to flat out just resist it completely. So, which is just fine. It's just fine. And if I don't like the way it looks, I can always heat it up, wipe it off and go again, put another treatment on it, whatever. But I think it's going to be just fine. Okay, again on these sides, just going to go around the edges with this green paint because I'm going to paint this side white also for that decoupage to go on to. Okay. Now, when you're working with milk paint, just know you're most likely going to end up doing more than one coat. And if you see the crackle and the flaking off process that you want after your first coat, don't fear painting over that. It won't mess it up if you paint over it. You can still you're still going to get those awesome results even if you paint over it with your second coat, your third coat. Those results will still be coming through as you go along. Um, so okay, I think whoop, sloppy drips or anything that I just don't like the looks of. But so far, I think it looks pretty good. That's a little drippy over here. Let's see. A little bit there. I think that's the most important part when you're working with liquidy paint is um, you don't want to have those drips because that doesn't look good. Doesn't matter what kind of paint you're using. That does not look good. Okay, here we go. We're going to seal that up, move that to the side, and I'm going to take my heat gun and I'm going to hit it with the heat gun, speed up the drying process. Oh, I probably need to, wait a minute. Hold on, y'all. I was so excited about getting to that point that I forgot. I gotta paint my handle. You gotta have a painted handle. You can't go on with no paint on your handle, y'all. Seriously. What am I thinking? Okay. There we go. That side. Just getting this side. Okay, and then we're gonna hit it with the heat because if you hold on a second. You know what? I have not gotten that in my hot little hands yet. It is one of the things that my son is going to the print shop to go get. But as soon as I get it, I will let you know, Little Miss Crafty. I will let you know for sure. You guys, when you're using milk paint, if you heat it up, it dries it faster, and that does sometimes, I'm not going to say always, but that does sometimes make the crackling and um, it does make the process go better. You know what I mean? Okay. So now let me get this other little side over here and then we will. Sometimes Little Miss Crafty on those circles, the half circles, you can use those for, because I'm just thinking without actually seeing it in my seeing it, but you can use them sometimes for little tuck spots. Sometimes you can use them um, to make little tags out of, things like that. So I'm not sure what exactly those are going to be, but we will figure it out. Okay, here we go, guys. Sorry, let me know if this is too loud. You want to make sure that you are not, when you're drying, you're not just sitting still. You're moving your heat source constantly and not getting too close. You do not want to burn your project in the paint. Y'all, this is turning out so good. Oh my goodness. Okay. Okay. I hope that wasn't too loud. Okay. Let me share what I got going on so far, what I can see. So here is the side here. You could kind of see some of that crackle going on. You could definitely see where it's resisted that paint. Okay. So this one, I'm going to set this aside. I'm going to let this one finish drying a little bit on its own. Now that I got that initial drawing done, and I'm going to move over to the next piece that I'm going to be working on. Now this one's going to be done in a couple different stages. So this is the bottom side, and I definitely want the bottom side to be painted. I'm not going to just leave it without painting it. So we're going to paint this side and part of the sides. I'm going to paint the handles. We're going to try to dry it down a little bit, and then I'm going to flip it over and paint the other side. Again, I did the same process. I used the wax to resist, and I also used the Sweet Pickens Extra Bond on there to give me um, some crackle. But this bottom part, I actually did not do a whole lot on this bottom. I actually just did it a little bit on the corners. So this may or may not. Now this is not a completely dry piece of wood. This was a manufactured, probably a Hobby Lobby piece, y'all, to be honest, you know. But I thrifted it, um, so it does have a different, it may be raw wood, I don't know, but it may react different than like that tote just did. So I have to keep that in mind as I go along, that this is going to react different. So go. And you could use a bigger paintbrush, y'all, to get this on. Thank you so much, Little Miss Crafty, for buying out of the bin. You could use a bigger paintbrush to make this go faster, but I know that I have a lot of little corner spots here that I need to get my paint down in, and I don't want to get it with a big paintbrush. So then I didn't want to get two paintbrushes dirty. So, y'all, Little Miss Crafty's going to town in the bin. You guys should get in there and see what she's buying. I got all kinds of new prints in there, y'all. I just made new prints. They're great for junk journaling, mixed media art. You also could, a lot of them are so pretty, you could just frame them and do like a gallery wall. I know. I like to load my bin, and y'all, in June, I'm actually probably only gonna come on a couple of times in June, and oh yes, I forgot about that. So I probably will come on a couple of times. I might do a shop with me kind of show. I may also be doing like I'll probably be doing some bin sale shows. So my bin is gonna get loaded up, y'all. It's gonna get loaded up, but I'm actually going to be out of state. I'm going to Arizona to be with my mama. My sister's going to two weddings back to back out of state, and so someone from the family should be there with my mom, just in case her body decides to go awry. And so I said I would go and be that person. So I'm heading to Arizona here in about a week. It's crazy to think that the month of June is almost, or the month of May is almost over, and June is almost here. That's just crazy to me. But this year is flying by, y'all. Flying by. Is anybody else feeling that way? Like, what the heck? How are we almost halfway there already? So, oh, Little Miss Crafty, I'm excited. I didn't even think about that when I was doing those prints with your dog and cat veterinarian place. Or a pet store. That's awesome. Thank you so much for buying out of the bin. I appreciate you guys. I just, I love my pups, or I love my animals, I should say. But so I was excited when I was able to get those prints put together for the different animals. And oh my goodness, so cute. Okay. This is gonna be so good, you guys. My son looked at it though. He's so cute. He's 26, and he saw this tray last night, and he was like, oh, I like this tray just the way it is. And I'm like, well, it's getting a paint job. So like, I'm glad you like it, but it's not for you. It's gonna be getting a paint job. Mama's got plans. Mama's making a mess, getting drippy. Let's see if I can grab that paint that dripped and get it where it's supposed to go on the actual project. There we go. Okay. Now that my sides are done, let's work on the handles a little bit, and then I'm going to get it with the heat gun. These handles are kind of tricky, y'all, because they don't come off the project. The other project that I had, the handles come off, and so that'll be a little bit easier to work with those. Again, I did add the extra bond and the wax for resisting on these handles as well. So hopefully we're going to get a fun finish on these handles. But, you know, not everyone wants something that, you know, they just, everybody can get at the store. You want something that's unique and cute, unique to your home. So this is the perfect way to do that. You just add paint. All right. Go. And you guys, so I get my heat gun. There is some crafting heat guns that you can get, but y'all just go to Harbor Freight. They got the cheapest tools, and they're I should say most inexpensive tools. And most of them I've not had a problem with. I think that their quality is just fine. Just fine. Um and it's at a price point that you don't have to feel bad if you don't keep it for a million years and pass it down to your kids, you know what I mean? Like, so I do tend to frequent Harbor Freight quite often, which happens to be right next to a thrift store, y'all, in my area, which is kind of convenient. And then my husband will call and say, "Are you seriously at the thrift store?" And I'll say, "No, I'm at Harbor Freight, silly." I may have, you know, really actually technically been at both, but, you know, he doesn't need to know that. Is he on here? I'm just kidding. Okay. Now we are going to use that heat gun, and we're going to work on drying this a little bit so I can get this process going. All right, y'all. I think that did it. We'll just get another coat quickly on this side and then dry it down, flip it over, and you guys, like I said before, you don't want to mix more paint, more milk paint than you think you're going to use for your projects. But if you don't have enough, you can always, oh shoot. Well, if you buy something that you that you duplicate, my friend. We can always work something out. So if you guys can always make more as long as you have the powder. You know what I mean? It's just the powder and the water, and you can always make more if you run out. Isn't that the way it goes? Yeah, that's where I had my I had my plastic cups that that I normally use to so funny. I use measuring or plastic cups to measure my milk paint. You know, I'll get 2 plastic cups and then um put the milk paint, the dry powder to a certain point in the plastic cup, and then I put my water to a certain point in another plastic cup, and then that's my measuring, right? That's how I know I've got the same amount. Yeah, except for I couldn't find my plastic cups today. So we had to use actual measuring devices and but I'm sure I put those plastic cups in a safe place, right? I tell you. Okay. I really like this color. It has kind of a bluish gray hue to it, I guess. This is Oh Olive. And I do have other green colors. And I could have gone with some other. I have basil. There's also, let me think, basil and, well, hello, petals pickets. Oh, basil and artichoke was the other one that I was kind of picking through. But because I think I'm going to be adding in, I'm making a mess. Some dark wax. I didn't really want to. I didn't want to make the paint too dark. You know what I mean? So, okay, here we go. We're gonna hit this again because I want to speed this part up so I can flip it over. So, let's speed her up. The only time watching paint dry is kind of fun is when you're doing it like in the fast speed. This may very well be my 0 to 0. One of these projects will be. I'm just not 100% sure which one, but they're all getting the same treatment. So I did add just on some of the edges, some of the wax to resist the paint and some of the sweet pickings to help with crackle. But because this is the bottom, I really didn't do too much on it to. Yes, if you guys are just jumping in, check out my new prints in the bin. I just made new prints and I'm kind of obsessed with them. Okay, so this is what that started like. And now we're just turning it over. And I think you guys can see where I added on the corners a little bit. Some of that, I don't know if you guys can see the wax necessarily, but I can see where the, where I added in the Extra Bond from Sweet Pickins. I'm hoping that's going to give me a little bit of a crackle. Again, everything is a little bit iffy when you do these kinds of projects because it's milk paint and you don't always get the same results. But I am going to hit the edges of this top, I'm not going to do a whole lot because this is where I'm going to be adding in that white milk paint or chalk paint from DIY, and I'm going to decoupage the edges, or I'm going to decoupage the top here. So, but I want to get the edges with this olive because I want it all to be cohesive and look like a finished project. I want it to look good, right? And you guys, if you guys are making projects that you are thinking about selling, something to think about is just make projects that you love, projects that you think, if this doesn't sell, that's okay. I would love to have it in my own home, that kind of thing. It takes the stress out of creating to sell. Does that make sense? Um, Absolutely. Yeah. It's, because if you're crafting to sell it, then you're stressing. Like, is everybody going to like this? Is this the right color? Is this and that just kind of ruins the whole process of enjoying your crafting. So I'm trying to do that a little bit more and just think about, if this didn't sell, would I want to keep it? So, all right, we're gonna set that aside. I know this is it's like a marathon. Here we go. This one goes over here. That one goes over there. Okay. Now we're gonna grab our third and final piece that we're gonna be working on. And this one, truly, you guys, had the sticker here from wherever it was from, probably a Hobby Lobby piece. But I'm going to paint the backside again. I do need to paint. I do need to paint the handles, possibly. I don't know though. I might leave them this color and maybe just, I don't know. I haven't decided yet. We'll see how much crackle and stuff comes up on this one before I decide what I want to do with the handles. But again, but something to think about as I'm going along here, y'all. I'm a mess. Okay. Is sometimes your milk paint, the um the milk needs to be stirred up again. It needs to get, if it's sat for so long, sometimes you just need to stir it back up because it'll start to thicken on you a little bit, which isn't always a bad thing, but stir it up. Okay, let's just get this down. I didn't put any treatment on the bottom here, so I believe it's kind of got like a faux whitewash on it. So I believe this will just probably just soak right in. But it's milk paint. Who knows? Who knows what it's going to do? But when you know that you are going to be selling a project, it just started raining, y'all. You definitely want to finish all your sides. You want it to look professionally done because we're professional crafters, right? Of course we are. So but the nice thing is when you're doing a project and you're doing it to look aged and chippy and that kind of stuff, it's kind of nice because then you don't have to be a perfectionist. But there's a difference between I just didn't do it and um, it was meant to look that way. You know what I mean? There's a difference. So You want to make sure that you're doing all your projects on all the sides and making them look good. Okay. Yeah, this is just like soaking right in. Like there's not even any give to the paint. It's just right down. Okay. So let me hit that with the heat gun. Okay. I think it's gonna be okay without a second coat. I think that'll be okay. It's just gonna be the backside. So I think I'm gonna leave it without a second coat. And here we go. Let me see if I can maybe turn this way and you guys can see more of what I'm doing here. So here we go. Now we're just gonna start painting the sides, y'all. Okay. Let's go. Get her on. And I did the exact same treatment on this one as I did the other pieces. So it has that wax for resist. It has the extra bond so that hopefully we'll get some crackle. And then the spots that I didn't put anything on, I'm expecting this milk paint to just soak right in and not give me any kind of um, finish outside of just the beautiful olive paint color. So we'll see how it goes though. Like I said, it's milk paint, so everything is always ever changing. You never know what you're going to get with milk paint. So there we go. Get all my edges real nice. Oops. It's probably going to be drippy on that side. Let's see. Okay. All right. That looks pretty good to me. Let's give it some heat and see if it needs a second coat. It probably will, just based on what the bottom looks like. And you just want to make sure that when you're heating up your surface, that you're just constantly moving. You're not getting too close. We want to speed up the process, but we don't want to burn our paint. Oh wow, yeah, that's gonna be good, y'all. Looking good to me. I'm seeing some good crackle on there. All right, let's do it again. Welcome in. If you guys are just joining us, we're just chatting and crafting this morning. Hello, Chris. I should say this afternoon. How are you, Chris? What's going on, my friend? This may very well be one of my Zero to Heroes. I'm doing 3 different projects. I'm not sure which one is going to make the cut, but they're all getting the same process done. I'm using Sweet Pickens milk paint in O Olive. I added some spots. Hello. I added some. Thank you for buying out of the bin, my friend. I added some spots of the extra bond to get me some crackle, hopefully, and then we added some candle wax to hopefully give me some resist. And we're using it on basically raw wood. So we're going to hopefully get a whole bunch of different, yeah, see that resist right there going through? Hopefully we're going to be getting a whole bunch of different looks in one piece that'll make it look pretty cool. I hope, I think. You know how it is. You know how it is with crafting, but all right, here we go, y'all. I'm going to dry it down again. Feel free to look in my bin. Oh, my son's home. Hopefully he's got my prints. So this is my second coat on this side. So hopefully we'll see how it looks. I don't think I'm going to do more than 2 coats. So, but I can see that crackle coming through. That's where I put the wax for the resist. And little cracks where the extra bond is. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. It may not flake off like I was thinking. Okay. Bring it here, please. Did you go get my meds? Yes. No, this is so good. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking is going to happen here is I am getting some crackle where it's just raw wood. I am getting more crackle where I put that, I believe that's where the extra bond is. And then this is where I put the wax. I think once this is done drying, I think that may very well flake off. I may need to do like the whole taping and pulling off method to get that to completely flake, but I think this is gonna work, y'all. I think this one's gonna happen. So here we go. Let's let that finish drying on its own, and I'm gonna flip it over. We're gonna do the next one, and y'all, my son just got here with my prints, so I'm gonna share with you guys some prints here in a minute that I just got in hand. It's not all of the new ones, but it's some of them. Some of the ones I just couldn't wait to play with. So, and I wanted to see in person how they print out. You know what I mean? So I do have a local print shop print them for me. Um, I do not have. I mean, I have a decent printer, but I'm not up for like investing in a new big printer for professional prints. I've bought some big equipment in the past, and yeah, I just don't I don't use it enough to justify necessarily. So it would be kind of hard to be like, oh, and honey, I need to go buy a $1,000 printer because I've decided I want to start offering prints. But like I have a laser printer or a laser cutter that I can cut like wood and things like that. And I love it. and I've done a lot of projects on it, not for Whatnot or anything, but like for family projects and stuff. And I absolutely love it, but I just don't use it enough. And it was a pretty penny, so um, okay. Give this a quick dry so we can give it a second coat. And this is the side that's gonna have the handle on it. So, oh yeah, you can see where I put some of that resist on there. So, Chris, what are you up to today? How is your how is your allergic reaction going? Is it getting better, my friend? Are you still super itchy? I don't ever do my crafts with gloves on, y'all. Even if it's like working with resin or anything like that, because um, I'm allergic to latex. And I know they make non latex gloves, but I have a hard time keeping them separated from other. Not very. Oh, honey, I'm so sorry. I have a hard time keeping my non-latex gloves separate from regular gloves that you buy, and so I just don't even wear gloves. I'm like, I just would rather not. So, um, so I just try to play really super safe with certain products, um, like if I'm using resin and stuff, and then I just wash my hands like as soon as I'm done. I'm really good about not touching my face, but yeah. Okay. We're gonna let the rest of that dry naturally. Right? Okay, so not quite an allergic reaction, my friend, but we got we live up in the woods and we have poison oak really bad here. And it doesn't matter how much we beat it back, it comes back every year. And sometimes, you just don't know that you've exposed yourself to it. You know what I'm saying? And one time I got it so bad, and no matter what I did, I couldn't shake it, And so anyways, but my daughter gets um we've actually had where she blew up and her face got swollen, and I had to take her in, and they put you on they'll put you on steroids, which, Chris, might be something you need to do if it's not getting better. Um but they had to go put my daughter on steroids for her poison oak, and they told me that she had began to oh, see, I've never been exposed to. Oh, it might be that. Oh, shoot. I've never been exposed to the poison ivy, but I guess from what I understand, it's a lot like poison oak. Um, but my daughter actually became allergic to the poison oak. And so every time she gets it, we know that we're going to have to go to um, down to like urgent care or whatever and get her on a steroid. Um, Another thing, Chris, okay, is do you have anyone who has a swimming pool, my friend? I know that the chlorine, okay, the chlorine from like when we do like weed eating around my house, as soon as my boys are done weed eating, they have to take their clothes off in the laundry room and put them straight into the wash machine, and we have to run their clothes with like super hot water and like extra like soap and like Clorox too. And then the very next load we do is going to be whites so that we can bleach my wash machine because the oils will stay in your wash machine and transfer to your clothes. And then my boys go straight into the shower where we have a poison oak wash that we use. But um when my daughter got poison oak so bad, we were flying to Arizona and we were staying with my sister who had a swimming pool, and it only took a couple of dips in the pool and it cleared up a lot of her poison oak. And we realized that if you have a swimming pool, a hot tub, something like that that has chlorine, it's kind of the same thing as using the bleach in the wash machine. It's going to kill that oil. So that's an idea. But yeah, my friend, you might have to go to the doctor and get on some steroids or something. It's terrible. I hate that for you. Is it terrible that I'm like not wanting to finish my painting projects and I'm wanting to go and I'm wanting to go play with look at my new prints, y'all. I'm like trying to keep myself focused. Nope, you're gonna paint. Nope, you're gonna paint. But I'm gonna share them with you guys before we're done. I'm gonna share them with you because I'm so excited. Have you guys ever heard of people getting like poison oak? And I'm sure it's the same with poison ivy in your lungs. Did you guys know that was a thing? So I'm an Arizona girl. Like, I don't even know nothing about poison oak, poison ivy, none of that. We don't have any of that. We have cactuses in Arizona, you know what I'm saying? All right, anyway, um, so I learned we do a lot of burning up here in Oregon. Um, which our fire restriction just got put on, so there's no burning anymore. But for the rest of the summer. But so when we burn, like we burn our limbs, we burn our leaves, you know, that kind of stuff. You have to be really, really careful because you can be burning poison oak. And if you breathe in the smoke and there's poison oak in your fire, you can get poison oak in your lungs. How terrible is that? Luckily, that has never happened to any of my family members. Like, we're just really cautious and careful about it, you know? Like if the smoke starts blowing your way, you hold your breath and you move and you don't breathe that smoke in. And so craziness. All these crazy things you learn about nature as you're when you go into new places. Okay, you go to urgent care, my friend. You tell me how it works out. Thank you so much, my friend, for coming in. I hope you start feeling better soon. All right, let's give this a quick dry so we can move on to the next side. And I'm just going to dry these enough that I can not worry about it being like super wet paint. And I'm going to let the rest of it dry naturally on its own. Okay. Okay, I think that's probably good. Make sure that side looks pretty good. All right, the last outside part. So exciting. Okay. I think after I get this other side here done, we're going to look at those prints real fast. And then I want to at least do one decoupage with you guys. and share with you because I don't know. We might do them all. I might stay on for forever today. Who knows? But I at least want to do one before I get off today. Okay, here we go. If you're just joining, y'all, I'm using Olive Sweet Pickens milk paint. Oh my goodness. And used some candle wax to help it resist, and some Sweet Pickens Extra Bond to try to force it to crackle. Here we go. Let's give this a quick dry. Now, if you see, like, you're seeing that crackle right there and you're like, oh my gosh, I want that. I don't want to paint back over it. Don't worry, my friends. It's still going to do that when you go over it again. There's no, you have, no fears that you're going to mess it up by adding another coat over it. That will it'll still be just as good when that second coat finishes drying. So don't fear covering it up, but you want to make sure you have good coverage with your paint. So, and I think I'm actually going to need to make more of this milk paint. I'm kind of a little surprised because I still need to do a whole nother coat on my tote, and I need to do the inside of this one. So, I might have enough. I might have enough. Okay. Let's do a quick dry so that we don't have to worry about this paint getting touched. I'm not going to dry it all the way down, just enough that it's not going to be runny. It's not going to... Oh my gosh, you guys, these projects are turning out so good. I'm so excited. I think that's good. I think that's good. And then I do want to, paint the inside and the lip, but let's look at these prints, y'all. I'm so excited. Let's look at these prints real fast. Let me get this lid on my paint. Let's get this project kind of moved a little bit out of the way. And we're going to look at these prints real fast. Get rid of all the paperwork that comes with it. Okay. So if you guys missed it earlier, I was showing a project I made last night for my own journal. So the template that I use for this, I actually am going to put in my bin here soon, but I wanted to run through it first before I put it on there. But like this is the first page, and I made a little notebook here to go in this pocket, and I just used like a random scrapbook paper pack. So, and then it opens up, and this one is going to be made into another. I'm going to add some paper in here to make another journal, and That tucks right in there. And then this one, I haven't finished yet, but this one's gonna have this little tab go on there. And then this is gonna be made into another little journal. Um, and that tucks right in that pocket, maybe if I can. And then this is going to be where I'm going to glue it to my journal. Now this is going to go into my mental health journal that I made a couple of, oh gosh, I think it was May 8th is when I made that. Um, and so these little words here, the little definitions, these are actually going to be what I'm going to be journaling about in these little journals that I'm making. And so um, they're like just little prompts to help me, you know, talk about my feelings, y'all. Talk about my feelings. So this is really fun. I'm excited that I'm, getting some stuff made for that. So these, you guys, these are just little prints that I made for a project I'm working on there. Let's see. Okay. So all of these are actually the mini, this is what you guys see when you guys see my prints on the when you guys see the prints on Whatnot, you're seeing this page. I just basically collaged them all together. Well, I went ahead and I'm printing these and I'm making little tiny baby mini journals, which is what this is. These are the pages that are going to go on the inside of that. So that's something I'm doing. They might be made into giveaways. I'm not 100% sure, but so excited, y'all. So excited. These are all my new prints that I've been working with. Okay, so this one here, this is the summer fashion print. So here it is. I actually had it printed out in full size. So here it is. So you're gonna get, when you get this, you get a 8.5 by 11 sheet with two prints together. So you could fold this and have it for your junk journal. You could cut it out and frame it. So that's what these are. Designed to be like, but I love this style. I love the color combination of this. It's just so good. So I love the old sewing machine there. So there is that one, you guys. So that is the summer fashion there. This one here is horse 2 prints. So it's all these different horses here. So there's that one. That's a new one in there. This one is the dogs. Look at how cute. All the dog stuff on there. It's so good. There's that dog that makes you think of Lassie. I love it. And little sheepdog down there. Here's the cats. This one's so fun. Just a little touch of blue and pink on there. Super cute. So there's that print. That's in there. That's the new cats print. This one is the summer birds print. This one's got, like the bird bath on there and the feathers and the nests and the birdhouse. Oh my gosh, so good. And this combined with some of the other bird prints that I have, like this could be really good combined with like the dictionary birds that are in there. You can mix and match a lot of the prints that I have. This one is swans. And I thought of this one when I saw it. I thought this one is going to be so good if you combine it with the IOD 3D mold of the swan. That could be really good, you guys. Really good for that. This was so fun. Look at those frogs, you guys. Check out those frogs. I love it. Nothing like going out in the summertime and picking up frogs. I remember being a little girl and doing that, and just a lot of fun going to the lakes. And this one is going to be summer insects. Summer insects with the butterflies and the bees and all the goods there. How sweet is that? So there's that one. Thank you guys for the hearts. I appreciate it. This one is Summer Bunny or Summer Rabbit, you guys. Summer Rabbit, they're all like white rabbits. This one's got white and gray on it, but it's so good. It's so good. Rabbits are, year round, and this one's so cute. It's just so good. And you could definitely like pencil in or watercolor in, like, and color those white bunnies, a different color, if you have a tan bunny or whatever. This one is the Daisy. This is the Daisy one. I do have another couple of flower ones that are coming, but this is the Daisy. Super good. Super good. I love all the tools in there and just a really fun. So that's the ones I have in the little mini prints that I printed out. And like I said, I'm going to make some little mini books and I'll probably be, giving them away as giveaways and things like that. Okay, here is the, this is, gosh, what did I call it? I think this is the Bluebird. Let me find it. I think this is the Bluebird. Y'all, I'm trying really, really hard to be careful with my heat gun because my heat gun's right here and it's super warm from all that drying down. Okay, yeah, this is the Bluebird folio. Let me pin it so you guys know what I'm talking about. Okay, so this one has the two different pages like you see normally. Here it is in a full page. Okay. And when I find a space that I can add a color that coordinates, I will do that. Okay. But I wanted to give you options if you wanted to use these as a smaller page versus a full page, but you can divide this in half and use it that way. You can divide this in half and make smaller pieces. So here is another just blank sheet that you could use anywhere. This one is this page in the full size. Again, you can divide it if you wanted to. Here is the pamphlet fold. So you're going to fold this in thirds where those lines are, and that will make your outside of your folio. Look at how pretty that is. And then here we go with the different pieces, you guys. So these are little, ephemera pieces you could put in. Here is, tuck corner spots. This could be made into a corner piece. You just glue on these two sides or make it a big tag. So many things you could do. Here's another piece here where you can make that into a pocket. So there's that one. This one here, again, if I have extra space, I put a little color strip in there so you have colors that coordinate. These big tags, make them into journaling spots, or you can definitely make them into little, basically back this with another piece, staple them together, whatever you want to do. Add some journaling paper in there and make it a little booklet. That would be cute. Here's this one, same thing, another color strip. This one is an envelope here. You're going to fold that here and here. And then these two are actually going to, this is the one you were wondering. These actually are going to tuck in, my friend. You're going to fold them here on the fold and tuck them in and then attach your envelope here to those and then leave the flap open for another side to open and close. That makes sense to you? And then there's a color strip I made there. This one is just your fussy cutting and your ephemera page. Look at that bird. I love the vibrant colors here. This is so good. So yeah, just fussy cut, get those cut out. If you want, that kind of thing on those. I just love all the different elements on there. And then this one here you're going to use these, you guys, however you want. These could be belly bands where you glue the two sides and then you can slip your journaling spot up in there. These could be made into little tags. So many cute things. These, you know, of course, can go on the tops of your pieces. You're going to fussy cut that out and then glue both sides, fold it in half, and it'll go right over the top like a tab. So, and you can also use these, you guys, to help fold down and keep down your envelope. So like at the one end, like you just barely have it go over the edge right here, and then it'll glue to the other side fully, and then you just tuck that down into there to keep your envelope closed. So I hope that helped explain it. You also, on this one, you guys, if you wanted, you could tuck this one under, glue this side and glue this side, and then leave this rounded piece unglued and use this as your envelope top. It, you know, the possibilities are there. You just have to make it the way you want it to go. But this is designed to probably fit exactly in that little space right there, either direction. So lots of fun ideas and cute things you could do with these. But what I was thinking, and the reason I couldn't wait to get this printed, is that I think that the colors of the, let me find it here. Got to get my little, boy, no, did I put it on the back side? Yeah, there we go. These could technically go really, really well together. I think that there's not a lot of yellow in here, but there's enough blues that you could make these coordinate together in certain applications. So that's what I was going to kind of play around with a little bit with that. So I hope you guys like the flip through. I'm super excited about these new prints. So yes, definitely get your hands on the new prints, y'all. Paper crafting abound. So, okay, let's get back to painting. Let's get back to painting. That's what we're actually here for. Okay, I gotta paint the inside here and the lip with the milk paint. And then I gotta get a second coat of paint on. So, I'm such a messy crafter, y'all. Anybody else feel that way about your crafting style? Good thing this is all getting that same color. I'm not necessarily needing to be super neat with my paint right now. So I did put just a couple little spots where I put the Extra Bond and the wax on this lip. So it's not going to have a lot of that going on, but it has, I think, at least enough that it might make a little bit of a difference. So tell me, what is your favorite of my new prints, my friends? What are you excited to get your hands on? What are you going to make with them? I'm excited to hear all about it. I'm having, quite a crisis over here because I'm getting ready to leave for Arizona and all I want to do is play with things. And I know that I only have so much time before I have to leave for my trip. So I'm not going to be able to get everything done that I want. Okay, I am going to paint down in the corner with this milk paint down here, even though I'm planning on painting the bottom white and decoupaging like my tray and stuff. I do want a little bit of the green showing on my project in the decoupage area. So I'm gonna not be too stressed and worried about not getting paint all the way down on the bottom because I want it down there. So There we go. Ooh, look at that. We're going to get a tiny bit of sunshine. That's exciting. Those little pops of sunshine. Aren't they just so much fun when you're like getting nothing but stormy weather? Thank you so much for your purchase out of the bin. I appreciate you. What are you planning on making, my friend? What are you planning on making with your prints? Or are you just collecting prints and waiting until something like comes to mind? Sometimes I do that. Sometimes I'll just grab craft projects or products. Oh, you think, oh, well, like I said, sometimes I grab crafting supplies with the idea that I have no idea what I'm going to do with them, but it's so cute. I got to have it. So, not, sometimes that gets me in trouble. Y'all, I decided yesterday that I really wanted to go shopping. I needed some retail therapy. So I headed out in the rain and went to the lobby that has their paper crafting supplies on sale this week. So of course it's on sale. We got to go check it out, right? And so I headed over there and I was like, I don't know if I want to pay that price for what I'm planning on doing. So I left there and went, luckily, only a very short distance. It's like the area that it's in, there's like it's a whole lot of, it's almost kind of like a strip mall. There's a whole bunch of things. Um and so I went over to Michael's and I thought that they would still have, they had these paper packs, I don't know, a week or so ago that were, I think, $5.99 or something. And I thought, oh, I'll just go pick up some of those because um they were, they were okay. They were good. And I went in there and no, they had the paper packs that I was thinking of were 11.99, I think. And then they did have their paper packs on sale, but it was buy one get one 50% off. And y'all, I would have spent $30 just on two paper pads. And I was like, nah, I ain't doing that. So back over to the lobby I went and ended up picking up the two paper packs that I got for I think it was $12.99 and $13.99, 40% off. Way better deal. So, and I like the paper I got. I mean, it's only they're only single-sided. It's not, but for what I was using them for, I think it works just fine. So, and I find that when you're you don't think so? I'm not sure. I really am not. I know that Michael's picked up a bunch of um stuff from Joann's when Joann's was going out. Like they picked up some of their fabric and stuff. But I kind of feel like maybe they're grasping too much. They almost seem like they're putting their hands in too many pots. Does that make sense? So, well, hello, my friends. How are you guys? We are chatting and crafting, and I'm working on. Yours is a hot mess. Ours is hit and miss. I think it depends on, um, you know, like who the management is sometimes. All right, you guys, I need a little bit more water in my paint. It's starting to kind of get chunky and dried out at the bottom, and I'm gonna try to make it stretch. You guys, I'm working with Sweet Pickins Milk Paint in the color O Olive, and we are working on one of my projects here today is going to be my Zero to Hero project. I just don't know which one yet. Well, now I made it too thin, y'all. All right, well, the good thing about milk paint is it dries no matter how much water you put in it. It's just, you have to actually kind of watch for your drips when you put too much water in it. A little bit more. And you might have to do more coats. I actually really prefer my milk paint to be a little thicker. So I tend to not put as much water in it, but it was drying out, so I had to add more water, and now it's too thin. Oh goodness, the life of a crafter. But that's okay. I just have to watch for my drips. So you guys, if you're just joining, check out my bin. I got some new prints in there. And we are crafting today because I hurt my back and I'm not going to be getting up and doing a whole lot. So that's the perfect time to sit in your comfy craft chair and get your craft on, right? So I'm working on 3 different painting projects, but they're all getting the exact same treatment. They're all getting the O Olive milk paint, and I used candle wax and the Extra Bond on all 3 of my wood pieces to help me get some resist, help me get some crackle. So like this spot right here, if you can see that right there, that's where the candle wax was, and that's gonna resist the paint. And then where the Extra Bond is, it's, you know, now milk paint always does whatever milk paint wants to do. It's, you know, it's one of those paints that it don't listen to you. It's going to do what it wants, and you have to just embrace that if you're using it. But the Extra Bond is supposed to help it just get crackle and not flake off. It acts kind of like a primer. So, and then we're going to add some DIY white chalk paint, clay-based paint, and going to put that down as a base coat for our decoupage paper that we're going to use. So this should be good. And none of these wood pieces are like vintage pieces. They're all, you know, modern, raw type wood. I think this one came from the lobby back in its heyday, I guess. Okay, here we go. That's, well, hello, Jeffrey. How are you, my friend? Y'all, that's my husband, my love. And he's just checking in on me, I promise. Okay, here we go. We're going to hit this with the heat gun. Check out the bin, y'all. We're going to get this to dry down pretty quick. You just want to make sure when you're using your heat tool that you just keep moving it around. You don't get too close. You don't want to burn your project. Because believe it or not, you can burn paint. It's not a good look. You probably just came in for 5 seconds just to see if I'm still on. Okay. So this, because this is actually going to be the focus of this project, is going to be this inside here. That's actually where I really want to make sure I get a really good paint job on it. And because my milk paint is watered down, I want to wait on doing the second coat on this one and let it finish drying on its own. And we're going to go on over and work on our other pieces that we're working on today. And look at this, like this is where I put the resist on this project. So okay, yeah, that's thickening up a little bit. Those chunks, you guys, that are in your milk paint, those you could just, if you have to add more water in and you overdo it like I did, it's a guessing project or process at that point. Just work those chunks in because it's just, the paint just not liquefied yet. Okay. So, yeah, that's a lot of, I have a lot of chunks, but that's a lot of, that's part of the process of the milk paint, I guess. So, okay, here we go. Just adding another layer on this one. This needs a second coat. When you're doing and working with your milk paint, you can pretty much just guarantee you're always going to need at least 2 coats. So, and if you love the look you're getting, don't be afraid to cover it up. It will still give you that crackle, that chippy, that look that you're covering up, even with your second coat. So don't fear the second coat. But you're going to get a much better result if you are adding in more paint and giving it that second coat on there. So, okay, I can see where that resist is like not, it's doing its job. It's like, no, you're not going to go on. Okay, I'm going to, while this thing is laying down, I'm going to get the bottom of this handle here a little bit better. And I am going to need to seal in this paint. Milk paint does need to be sealed in. No matter where you're going to put it, it has to have a sealer on it. So just know that. Be prepared for that. You can do wax sealer. You can do, thanks for the hearts, my friends. You could do wax sealer. You can do like a liquid sealer. That would be fine. You could do a spray-on sealer. But it does have to be sealed in. It can be reactivated if you do not seal it in. So you don't, if that's not what you're looking to do, you definitely want to seal it in. Okay, here we go. Gonna give it a little bit of heat, y'all. If you heat up your milk paint, no matter what kind of surface you're putting it on, what kind of treatment you've done, if you heat it up, you are going to most likely speed up and give yourself better crackle and chippiness results because it's drying faster, if that makes sense. Because that's part of the process of getting those chips and crackles is that um, you're heating it up or you're it's drying faster and sometimes those spots will react because of that. Okay. So this side here, I do want to I just want the edges. I'm going to decoupage over the sides here. And so I don't need it to have, you know, super great coverage, but I am going to just hit this little spot right here. Make sure that my little knob here from the handle is taken care of. And then I want to make sure that this side is done really well because these sides probably are not going to get as much of the decoupage. I am going to paint with the DIY white on here before I decoupage. And then I'm just going to hit up a little bit on the sides here with that second coat just to make sure I have good coverage. And I want my project to look cohesive. So that's why I'm kind of doing the edges. There we go, just a little bit. Okay. Have you guys, put in the comments, have you guys ever used milk paint before? If so, did you like it? Was it a fight? Okay, I'm mostly doing those sides because I really don't want it to get drippy. You know what I mean? So we're just gonna hit those real fast with that. Now this is the other side. I need to completely get this one covered. Ooh. I'm gonna try to stretch this, y'all, but I might have to make more. Welcome in. I see some familiar faces in here. How are you guys today? If you guys are a seller on this platform, drop your emojis on down. Tell us what you're up to, what's going on in your world. And if you're not a seller, drop us down a comment. What are you guys working on? What's going on? Let's chat about it all. And you guys, if you're here and you're wanting to shop, check out my bin. I got some new prints in there. Excited. I'm working on some of that. Got some more I'm working on, but I needed to get my Zero to Hero project done. So I'll probably later this week have more in there that I'm working on, but right now I said I need to get my Zero to Hero done, and one of these 3 projects I'm working on is, yeah, we're getting down to like the chunks, y'all. One of these 3 projects I'm working on is gonna be the Zero to Hero project, which is Friday, you guys. We're gonna have that monthly contest, friendly competition on Friday. And basically, everyone that's in there has upcycled and brought back to life a new or a project that it was either gifted to them or they got it on the side of the road or they picked it up for next to nothing. So that's the 0 part of it. And then they're gonna make it into a hero. Okay, y'all, I'm gonna shake you guys for just a second. Sorry. I gotta plug my other device in. I gotta take it from one device to the other. Okay. Because my tablet's like, we're running low. Okay. Here we go. So this is the second coat on this one. That's probably all I'm gonna do with the milk paint on this project, is just give it the 2 coats, and then call it good for this one. And then we'll do the sides with that DIY milk paint, and then decoupage, y'all. Okay. Give it a quick dry down. Absolutely, little Miss Crafty. Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, and little Miss Crafty, by the way, I got you something. It'll go in your packages. I got you a special something the other day at the thrift store. Okay, y'all. Dang it. I don't wanna make more paint, y'all, but I think I'm gonna be forced to. See if I can get these little chunks to go on down. A special surprise. I know, right? A special surprise. Um, okay. I think I'm gonna have to just bite the big one and just make another batch of paint, y'all. Boo. Okay. But that's okay. That's okay. I love this color. It's just when you make too much, you kind of have to go around and find other things that you can paint with this paint before it goes bad. Yeah, that's not gonna work. Okay, so we're gonna make some more paint, y'all. That's what we're gonna do. Let's see. I'm gonna lay this down like this so I can remember that that's the side I need to work on. Okay, y'all. Here we go. Here we go. Because I tried to add a little bit more paint in there, but or a little more water. But again, I added too much water again. And it's just not working. All right. So you get your paint in its powder form. You get your measuring device of whatever. Let's see if I have enough to make another whole batch or not. No, probably not. Doesn't look like it. So, okay. So this is how much I have available to me. Okay. I do have more in the other room, but I don't need that much. Okay. So I'm just gonna kind of take mental note of where this is kind of laying out on my, there we go. We'll put it like that. And I happen to have the exact same measurer with my water. So, and like I said, I try to do a little bit less water than equal because I like it to be a little bit thicker than it tells you to do it equal parts water and and then I tend to put the water in first, because if you put in the powder first and then the water, like you're scraping the bottom trying to get that powder to come off the bottom. Okay. And you guys, I think, don't quote me, but it's milk paint. I don't think it's gonna like hurt you if you used your food measures. I'm not gonna lick the spoon by any means, but if I washed this with soap and water, put it in the dishwasher or whatever, I don't really see it being a huge issue. That's just me, you know. I'm kind of a rule breaker like that. I just kind of do my own thing, but I feel okay with giving it to my kids, So, all right. So, you can use like, what are they called? Immersion blenders or whatever. You can use all kinds of different methods. A fork, like a plastic fork, works really great, y'all. Really, really great. You don't have to do it in a glass jar. You don't have to do it in a lidded jar. But this happens to be what I had available. It's actually jam that just finished being used at the house. We washed up the jam jar, and that's what we're going to do. So now this has to sit for just a few minutes. Technically, I could just use it right away, but it'll thicken up just a smidge in that few minutes if I just give it a minute. So y'all, tell me, what are you working on? What's going on in your world? I have, like I said, I have my journal I'm working on. I have some sewing projects I'm working on. I really need to buckle down though. I have some, I need to make some mini Vinnies for my patriotic sales because I have some patriotic sales coming up, and I have bought all these little tidbits here and there that I found, and I don't have any of them like planned out. I need to figure out what I want to do with that. You know what I mean? So, okay. Welcome in, y'all. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate you. Let's pin a new print. Let's pin a new print up here. Show y'all my exciting new stuff that I just added to the bin. What would help if I got that off the screen? Okay. Here we go. I do have some patriotic things, some cards in the bins. Oh my gosh, those little fuzzy teddy bears are adorable. Y'all, they're like sticky on the backside, and then they're fuzzy on the front. Those are so cute. But I have been working with some prints, and I just got some new prints made up and put in here to offer y'all. So let me find one of my favorites and share it with you. Little Miss Crafty got this one earlier. We know we all love our kitty cats. So here we go. So there's the cat print. That one's pretty cute. It's got some pinks and some blues. Okay, let's get this one painted up, y'all. Let's finish painting this one up. I know, the little kitties. Oh my gosh. We just had baby kittens. One of our, we call them forest cats. They're like barn cats, but they're living in the forest. Our little forest cats, one of them just had 2 kittens. So we have a, let's see. I think we have an all gray and a white and gray kitten. So cute. She keeps hiding them though, They do that. My kids are like, why won't she just leave them where the rest of the cats go? Because we have like a little cat house outside that we built for them, that they can kind of get up and away from some of the critters out in the woods. But so they have like a little dog house, like a closed in dog house area, but it gets hot in the summer for them in there. So But we have like a platform that they can get under, get out of the rain when it's raining, and we put their food and stuff in there. We hang toys down from it. Give them all the options, you know what I mean? So they're cute little cats. You know, they keep the squirrels and the uh, different critters out from, you know, invading the house and those kinds of things. So here we go. You can see where the wax was, the wax heating up right there. Okay. Now, I'm not going to worry too much about the inside of this piece, but um, I do want to get like right here where it's going to be seen. Huh. Someone's pulling up to my house, y'all. Who are you? What are you doing here? What's going on? Hold on 1 second, y'all. Caleb! Kaden! Oh, it's just a package being delivered, y'all. It's just a package being delivered. That's part of the joy of living in the woods. Like, no one's coming here. And if they come, I want to know why they're here. What are they doing in my house? And my dogs are like my doorbell. But I happen to be sitting right here by the window, so I can see the guy pull up, but he's just delivering something. But yeah, I'm like, who are you? What are you doing in my house? Why are you here? You're not supposed to be here. It's just a delivery. So actually, I think it's a Temu package, my friend. I think it's a Temu package. I was waiting on some, I think like ribbon or something from Temu to come. Y'all, my husband hates Temu, okay? And I have mixed feelings about it. I'm not gonna lie. I have mixed feelings. Um, but I just got a package delivered. So I didn't know who was pulling up to the house, so I was calling for you, but you can bring my package in, I'll let you. Um, so I have mixed feelings about it because yes, I do not want to pay you know, I'd rather be paying American made, that's for sure. But y'all, have you guys noticed that if you buy from Amazon, almost 90% of what you're getting from Amazon is basically the same exact products that you're going to be getting from Temu. Just saying. It's, you know, it's coming from the same place basically. And I'm, you know, I'm all about, you know, and I told my husband because he's really against it, you know. And I'm like, hey, once these items start being made in America, I will buy it from America. But until then, I gotta buy it where you can find it, you know. You gotta get it where you can find it. So yeah, it's a struggle, my friends. It's a struggle. But oh my goodness, y'all, this is so good. This is turning out so cute. Okay, what should I put in this though, y'all? What do you guys think? What kind of stuff would you put in a tote like this? What kind of stuff? Tell me in the comments. Probably bottles with flowers, maybe. I don't know. You know, in a craft room, this could be really cute with, you know, your different glues in it, your different paint products, like, bottles with your paintbrushes, All right, y'all. This one is pretty much done as far as the green goes. You guys can probably hear my doggies click clacking around on my feet over here. Don't like the way that little looks like a drip there. I don't like that. Okay. No, it's gonna drip there. Gotta get that. Can't have any drips, y'all. That's not a good look, Okay. I think it's looking pretty stinking good. Actually, I think I want to do the top here because this is, I want to make sure that wood is like on the rough edge of the wood and it kind of got a weird look to it. I don't like that. Okay. All right, y'all. That one is pretty much painted in the green. I'm going to zap it one more time with the heat gun just so we make sure the paint doesn't do, the whole drippy thing. While it dries. Y'all, I turned on my heat gun and my dogs run. They just don't like it. I don't know why they're so scared of it now. They don't like it. Okay, we're gonna let that dry. Okay, here's a tip for y'all. Here's a fun fact tip with milk paint is if you have your milk paint and it does not do the chipping or the crackling or anything like that that you really are wanting. Okay, let's say you're all done. You're completely done with it and it just didn't do what you wanted it to do. What you want to try to do, this isn't like a foolproof, but it does help. What you want to try to do is get yourself a wet paintbrush and put just water on your paintbrush and go back over your paint with a wet paintbrush and then dry it down again. Adding that heat to it, sometimes reactivating your paint and doing that can give you the results you're looking for. Just that little tidbit from me to you. Sometimes that will work because, we all want our projects to be what we want them to be, right? We gotta help each other out. Now, I do not sell any of these paint products. I used to sell DIY paint when I had a brick and mortar. I do not sell it anymore, but I support my friends who do sell these kinds of products. So if you're needing, I didn't quite get it in there. If you're needing some of these paint products, message me or comment or whatever. And I will give you the names of who I'm doing it with. Hello, Tina. How are you, my friend? How are you? How is Tennessee, right, Tina? You're in Tennessee, my friend? Oh. Jeff's finally seeing you, little Miss Crafty. Yes, Tennessee. How is Tennessee? We're just chatting and crafting here. This girl hurt her back. And so she is not doing much today. Oh, good. It's beautiful. I love it. It's rainy here. Well, Yeah, it's rainy here, on and off. It can't decide, but it's supposed to be raining in my neck of the woods for like the next, I think it said like 4 days. Rained yesterday, pretty good actually. And then supposed to rain today and tomorrow, which is fine. And we need the rain, you know what I mean? And we've already had a couple of small fires, y'all. Small fires, but you know, it always helps when there's more rain. Fire danger is always something we have to kind of keep in our minds, and it's a sad fact, um but yeah, we need the rain. So I don't have to go out and about in it, so it's fine. And we've already had our fire restrictions start, so there's no like real yard work to be done. Um and my son, like my 20-year-old son already went out the other day and he was working on we're on like low restriction right now, so um um we can still go out and like weed eat and that kind of stuff in the mornings and in the evenings. So I had my son go back out, and he was weed eating the other day before the rain started, and um we'll keep doing that until they put the restriction on for that, and then we can't do anything, which is so frustrating. I mean, it's understandable, because there are people who don't know what they're doing, and so they're just protecting everyone. But the people who know what they're doing, it's frustrating because we get to the point where our grasses grow and stuff tall enough that it could cause, an issue if someone drove by and spark something or throw a cigarette butt out the window. And so it gets frustrating. But okay, let me zap this one, y'all. Go ahead and check out my bin, y'all. I got some really cool prints in there and all kinds of fun stuff going on. This was my upcoming shows. Friday is going to be our Zero to Hero, which one of these projects is going to go into. I'm not sure which one yet, but whew, toasty on the fingers. All right, there we go. There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna put this aside because I don't need this part for my next step that I'm gonna do. Okay, so I painted the back side. This is the side that gets screwed the into that other piece I had with the handles. This part here, um this is the top or the bottom of the tray. And let me close up my paint. Woo. Hold on. Roll back out of the way. Oh, heavens to Betsy. Okay, y'all. Hold on. I gotta reach. Ooh. I don't want my paintbrush to dry out, and I really am not sure that I'm 100% done with my milk paint. Well, actually, I know I'm not because I just made a whole bunch more. But so I'm gonna kind of give it as much of a chance of staying nice as I can. So there we go. Okay, so here's what I'm working with, y'all. So all of these pieces, the three pieces that I made, that I painted today and I'm working with, are all going to get a piece of this rice paper. This is from, I don't remember who I got it from. I don't remember the seller that I got it from, but I do know this is Roy Cycle paper. Okay. But there's several people that I like to support. So, okay. So this one though, I do know I'm going to use these ducks. This is what I'm really wanting to go on this here. So what I want to do, I'm making sure that I have my ducks in, y'all. Do you guys get to see the back of my head? I think you guys did. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pencil, my handy dandy pencil. Get your ducks in a row, right? Okay, I'm going to take my pencil and I'm just going to kind of like draw the outline of my rice or my project here. So I kind of get an idea of where this is going to fit. Okay, then set that aside, out of the way. Then I'm going to go and I'm going to cut that. If I can grab my scissors. Okay. Then I'm going to cut that out a little bit. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect, but it's a lot easier. Where is that line? Okay. It's a lot easier to work with this if you aren't working with the whole big sheet. Okay. Now this is a big piece of rice paper. And so there's a lot of projects you can work with on this. And like I said, I decided to go ahead and make all 3 projects with this one sheet. Okay, so, woo, get in there, fold, go the right way. There we go. Okay, so here is what we're actually working with, is this sheet here with the ducks, okay? And so if I lay this down on this, you know, if it's dark, right, you're going to see, like, it's going to darken your pattern, right? So if I were to go on here and just decoupage this right on there, it's going to be dark. But I want this to pop. I want to focus on this. So, ooh, here we go. I've got a piece of paper. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So if I paint this white, okay, and then I lay this on there, see how much brighter that is? So that's why I'm going to be painting my piece first. So, I'm going to paint all of my pieces with a white paint before I go into decoupage them. Now, before I do the white paint on this one, though, I want to knock down some of the paint that I have on the edges. Like I have bumps and stuff. I don't know if you guys can see that. Okay. So I want to kind of knock that down a little bit, smooth it out. That'll expose some of that crackle. If I have any resist, that's going to pull the resist off. Okay. Okay, there we go. Ta-da! All right. Now, this is where you use your pants to rub off your paint. Oh my gosh. I probably could have gotten a paper towel and done it. That probably would have been just fine too, but it's all right. It all comes off in the wash, right? Okay. Ta-da. But yeah, technical tools, right? Okay, so I have, I'm going to use Tarnish Pearl. in the DIY paint line. There are quite a few different white colors that you could use, but this one has a little bit of a like a gray undertone to it. And with the undertone of gray in my paint choice here for the milk paint, I thought that this would be a really good choice on this one. So there we go. And y'all, I'm not really super good with my paints. Like I don't keep them pristine, and I don't keep them all, closed up right. And I know that like my friend Chris with At Home with Chris that was on here, I watch her videos and she's always got like saran wrap around her paints and stuff. And that helps her keep it. Nah, I just call my boys in and I'm like, I can't open this paint, open it for me, And that's how we do. So, but this is clay based chalk paint. So it gets it's water soluble. You got to seal it in. It's got super great pigmented color and coverage on it. And so I like to use it, but you definitely have to seal it in. But once it dries and it is like it's rock hard. It is rock hard. It's really fun though. You can do a lot of fun techniques with it. You can wet distress it. You can sand it. So, and if you wanted to use this kind of paint and get a crackle look, you could add, you might be able to add the extra bond underneath. I haven't tried it. But I know you definitely can use the school glue method. I've done that, where you put down school glue and then before it dries, while it's still wet, you add your paint over the top. Now, when you do that, you want to just do like a single pass with your paint. You don't mix your paint and your glue together. And the thicker you put the glue on, the bigger the cracks will be. But that works with this paint. I've done that quite often, quite a bit. So, welcome in, you guys. I see some new faces popping in. Thank you so much for joining me. We are chatting and crafting today, y'all. Chatting and crafting. Hey, how are you? How are you? What are you guys doing today? Check out my bin. I got some new prints in there. I'm getting my Zero to Hero project made today. One of these, I'm working on 3 different projects. They all are getting the same treatment. And one of these projects is going to be my Zero to Hero. I just don't know which one yet. I haven't quite decided. So, okay. Haven't quite decided. Welcome in. Thank you for joining. Okay. And y'all, you don't even have to worry about, the nice thing is, because this is just an undercoat for our decoupage paper, you don't even have to worry about brush strokes or nothing. You could just, we're just looking for some decent coverage to give the decoupage paper a brighter finished look. So this is my second coat basically of this tarnished pearl. Of course, your whites are not going to be as pigmented, and you're going to have to give it a couple of extra passes. And y'all, make sure you guys are following my mod there, my friend Little Miss Crafty. She's a fantastic craftsman seller here in Whatnot. She does crafts. She does vintage. Normally, if you see me doing something, she's doing it too. So, okay, I'm gonna zap this with the heat gun. You're a copycat? No, that is not what I'm saying, my friend. That is not what I'm saying. We just like to do a lot of the same stuff. Now the DIY clay-based paint, because of the clay in there, you'll notice it goes on, and then as it dries down, it actually is a lighter color. It will brighten up. Oh, I see some tannins coming through from that board, but that won't be a big deal. We'll be able to work past that. Okay. All right. Now, what I want to do, my next step, I need another baggie for my paintbrush. Y'all, I found these paintbrush like protectors at one of the craft stores, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be awesome. But the more I was thinking about it, it's like a little plastic case, and like your brush handle sticks out, and it's got like a thing around it to airtight it and all the things, right? And I was like, oh, this is gonna be awesome, and I was all excited. And then the more I was thinking about it, I'm like, wait a minute, I'm not gonna probably use that too much, because I don't use that big of paintbrush. It's like got a hole this big for a regular paintbrush to go in. Yeah, that ain't gonna work for me. So it is what it is. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do next on this one. I want to seal this in, y'all. I'm gonna seal it in, and to seal it in, I'm gonna use DIY the liquid patina. This is a decoupage medium and a sealant. You can use it for either or. It does have more of a matte finish. I like that myself. So there we go. So I'm just going to seal this in, and I'm going to go all the way from one edge all the way to the other. I'm going to get that green sealed in as well. Might as well, right? Might as well. And that'll help with, oh my goodness, y'all, this is going to be so good. I'm already like seeing it come together in my mind, and the little touches that I'm seeing. So good. And again, if you're a crafter and you craft to sell your items, work on pieces that you love, which can be tricky, because I mean, if you love it, you might want to keep it and not sell it. But it takes the stress out of creating, because if you're making something you love and that you wouldn't mind keeping in your home, then you're not stressing about what others might think of your piece as you're making it. And it makes the process just a little more enjoyable. Okay. Kind of work on keeping it close to the edge, but I don't want to go all the way over the edge right now, because I'm not ready to have that wet right now. Okay, so I'm gonna let that kind of dry for just a second. And actually, you know what? I think I'm gonna heat it up and dry it. You can do that. You can do that with the liquid patina. You don't want to heat it too much, but you can make it go faster. Okay. So as you can tell, it's still pretty wet, but I did that so that it would go a little bit faster for us. And then I meant to grab a little teeny tiny paintbrush, and I put my paintbrushes back in the other room, but this one will work just fine. Okay, so let's take our decoupage medium here, the page, this rasp paper, okay? And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take just regular old water, and I'm gonna go up here to this line that I drew, um, and just saturate my paper right about that line. Like, it doesn't have to be perfect.
Yes.
I'm definitely not looking for perfection. I didn't call you. Did you think I called you?
Yes.
Oh, my son's hearing things. Okay, and then I'm just gonna kind of hold it and pull it away. I just want to make sure that I'm not pulling away from what I really want to be there. You know what I mean? Ta-da! Okay. Now this can be used later. Let it dry. Set it aside. Let that dry. You can use that later on something, I'm sure. Oh, I called him 20 minutes ago to get his, yeah, right? Yeah. So, and then over here, this one as well. Just gonna, I want to make sure that my duck is in my picture. So I'm gonna kind of go like that. Let it sit for just a second and then hold my finger over and just pull it away. Okay. Hello, my friend. How are you? Thanks for coming on in. Okay, so here's the thing. I know these ducks are my focal, right? I definitely want those on my page. And so I want to make sure that I am getting those on my page. And I'm going to kind of go over here and find out where I'm lining up at. Okay. Set that aside, come back on over. So that's about where I want to be, right about there. And get her wet, y'all. Just, I do this method, you guys, with almost all of my paper products or projects, because it is the easiest way to get a messy look, but it's not, it's not like super messy, but it's not a clean lines look. I mean, sometimes there's a application where you want clean lines, but when you don't, this is a good way to do it, y'all. Okay, let me get this to dry just a smidge so when I turn it over. Okay, so let me look again where I'm at. Okay, and then probably about there. Okay, probably about there. And it's okay that the white is going to show underneath. I'm not worried about that at all. Because in the end, it's all going to look like it's meant to be. Okay. Ta-da. Okay, there we go. There we go. Now I have an image that isn't 100% straight, and it'll blend really pretty and nice and look, like organic. That's the word I'm looking for. Organic. Okay. This is mostly dry, y'all. Mostly dry, not 100%. But it doesn't matter because we're going to be getting it wet again with the decoupage medium anyways. So here we go. I'm just going to put that down. I'm not like wanting to be super sloppy with it, but I want to put enough of it down that it's going to work like a glue. Again, working with DIY's liquid patina. That on down. Well, that's a little more on that side than I want. So scooter on over. Okay. And then I'm just going to go back over this way with this. With the little bit of liquid patina I still have on my brush. And just kind of smooth it out. You guys, I'm one of those, if it gets wrinkles, it gets wrinkles. It's all right. You can make those wrinkles work with you and look purposeful. If I was doing it and I was looking for a seamless, you know, pristine look, I may not be happy with wrinkles, but because this is more of a distressed organic look, I'm not super worried about wrinkles. And you'll notice when you work with your decoupaging that what is a wrinkle right now probably will flatten out as it dries. But I like to do it in little strips, a little bit at a time. It gives you more control. You put some down and then you smooth it out. And then you put more down and then you smooth it out. So there we go. Like I said, I could see like there's one right here. I'm going to try to flatten it out a little bit. If it doesn't, that's all right. Moving on. There we go. Welcome in, Rebecca. How are you today, my friend? Okay. Oh my goodness. Y'all, these ducks are so cute. I had a mallard and his mate like hanging out in my yard the other day. Isn't it neat? I don't know if this paper, this rice paper is still available at Roycycle, but it's a really pretty paper. And ducks are so in. And again, if you work on a project, there we go. I think I can get some of that. I got like an air bubble or something right there. If you are working on a project that you love or that you can envision going to, you know, someone, then it's more enjoyable. Like if this doesn't sell, my son is going to love this. He would love to have that in there. It is recycle paper, my friend. I was saying, I don't really know who exactly I got it from because I buy from, I support several different sellers, but I do know it's Roycycle for sure. So, okay, I'm gonna let that dry and kind of cover up my paintbrush with my baggie here. And let's see if we can't roll on into another one of the projects while this dries. We'll set that aside. Let's grab this one. This one needs its second coat. Since I made more milk paint, I can get this one finished painted. And then we'll put the white in there and get that one decoupaged. Okay. There we go. So you guys, I'm using O Olive from Sweet Pickins Paint. And I added wax, like candle wax, and oh heavens to Betsy, and the Extra Bond in different spots so that these wood pieces would get, you know, little different texture all throughout. And I did that to all the pieces I'm working on today. I did the same thing to all 3 wood pieces. These pieces were for the most part raw wood. I think that one I was just working on was probably the one that had the most most of a finish on it. I think that was a Hobby Lobby piece, but and I ran out of paint right here on this one, so that's why I have to get it painted with the second coat. So but again, if you work on pieces that you love, you don't have to stress about if they're going to sell or not, because then you can keep them. And this Roycycle paper, the whole thing is so good, and for the most part would be something that I could put in my son's room without question. So it'll be good. Here we go. Gotta get this side done with its second coat. Again, I'm looking for, you know, like a little bit of chippy, a little bit of flaky. So that's why I added on the Extra Bond first, the candle wax. I want just a little bit because I knew with the raw wood, I think this one has like a little bit of like a whitewashed paint look to it. But for the most part, it feels like raw wood. And I knew that the ones that were pretty much raw wood would do nothing but soak in the paint. So, that's a big chunk. Welcome in. Thank you for joining. Y'all check out my bin if you guys are interested in shopping around. I got some fun things in there. I just came out with some new prints, and also bookmark my upcoming show. Friday, we're doing a friendly competition, 0 to Hero. And one of these projects I'm working on today will be my piece for that. The other ones will probably go into a miscellaneous sale somewhere down the road. But yeah, 0 to Heroes coming up. Everyone in that train gets 10 minutes to sell one item that they upcycled from a 0 to a hero. And the person who gets the most for their upcycled item is the winner for the month. And it's just a fun, friendly competition. Just celebrating and doing what we love to do and upcycling items. So, yeah, check out my bin, bookmark my shows. I would appreciate it. And the month of June, did you just finish up your project? The month of June, y'all, is going to be a weird month for me. I'm most likely going to do some pop-ups and some bin sales. I'm going to be in Arizona with my mama, and so I'm not doing any trains or anything like that. So, all right. There we go. Okay, I think that's for the most part done there. I think I like the edges the way they are. I'm not gonna fuss with the edges. All right, looks like I'm gonna need to start looking at my, for some reason my tablet does not want to charge fast enough. I'm gonna take this off and charge my phone instead. Because my tablet doesn't want to charge fast enough with this cord, and it's saying it's still gonna die even though it's plugged in. So I'll just charge my phone instead and use my computer, my laptop over here, to see y'all's comments. So, okay, let's try this. Hey, Kaden. Lisa. Did you go get my package? Yeah, it's on the phone. Well, I want it in here. Silly goose. So the inside of this one is actually going to be is actually going to be where the focus is going to go. So the paper is actually going to go on the inside. All right, y'all. Enough of that, huh? Okay, let's paint. Let's get more paint on this guy. Going back to that tarnished pearl. Might as well just close this thing down because I'm dying anyways. Going back to that tarnished pearl from DIY Paint. Just put it right there. And I'm going to coat most of the bottom of this with that tarnished pearl. And it's just to make my paper pop a little bit more. And I'm not, real worried about how far over it goes. I'm gonna try to keep it from the sides though. I don't think I want it up on the sides, but I've had this paint for a little while. It's not really my go-to white, so it's a little thick, but that's okay. That just means less coats, y'all. That just means less coats if it's kind of thick. And then this is just going to give me a good base for my decoupage paper to go down. Thank you, Cade. Go ahead and put it right there. Look at that service. Nothing like a good kid to get you a cup of coffee. All right, spin this around. Y'all, I drink coffee until 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and then I have to switch to something else. So I still have time for at least one more cup of coffee. Are you guys coffee drinkers, tea drinkers? What kind of stuff do you guys drink? My husband's Coke Zero. Okay. My husband's kind of a tea drinker. He likes his black tea. I really like my coffee. I used to be a soda drinker, but I am actually, here's a weird fact, a weird thing. I'm actually allergic to carbonation in sodas. Isn't that fun? So, like, even when I go someplace and I get like a lemonade, I have to ask them, is it carbonated? before I can get it because I can't have any carbonation. Oh, with vanilla creamer. Now I can do. I always joke and say I need a little bit of coffee with my cream and sugar. Um, I actually normally like. I know. I tell you, Little Miss Crafty, the bubbles for me. I actually love the bubbles. The carbonation, I love. Especially if you have like a sore throat or whatever. Like, oh, so it made me really sad when I became allergic because I wasn't allergic originally. But if I drink carbonation, it's the I don't know, whatever that chemical is in it. Um, interferes with like it interferes with my blood and it goes in and I get a headache from it, so I can't do it. But anyways, um but my coffee, like this right here, this is a black coffee with a hot chocolate inside of it. But if I can find it, oh yeah, I hear you, Pedals Pickets. Um, if I can find it, there is a protein drink that is salted caramel, and I really like that one. And that's a good way to get my protein in, and so I will put that in like as a creamer, but it's not easy to find. So I do like that. And I will add that into, but I can't just drink just black coffee, and I can't drink just like black tea. Like if I get a tea, it's got to be like sweet tea or flavored tea. Ooh, that's a big chunk. I don't want that in there. Um, and here's another interesting fact, y'all. I'm full of facts today. Um, so I got a DNA test done years ago. Um, and one of the things that one of the things that I um, tested for, it tests your like your DNA traits is what it says is traits that you have. And one of the traits that I have says I have a what does it say? It's like how did they word it? Dang it. Like I'm affected by bitterness easily. Like bitterness is something that I detect bitterness easily or something like that. And I'm like, well, that kind of makes sense because I cannot drink black tea, black coffee, because to me it's like licking an ashtray, y'all. In my mind, it's so gross. So gross. It's like bitter and it's just harsh. So all right, that's the last coat for that one. Let's put it back in our little baggie. Let's dry it down. Let's start working on our decoupage paper for that. Yes, see, Bumblebee Corner, that's what I'm talking about. It's kind of like that. But I don't like the vanilla. I tried the vanilla. I really like the caramel one. But it's really hard for me to find. But it's good for me to get my protein in that way. Because I don't really eat in the morning because of my medication. So um it's a good way for me to get my protein in. It's really funny because I used to be a morning eater. It used to be when I was a young adult, maybe even from a teen. Um, we always grew up having breakfast. Um, that I would get like sick to my stomach if I did not eat breakfast. And the older I got, the less breakfast really was appealing to me. And then when I started taking this medication that I'm on, like I cannot eat. My stomach will not allow me to eat. If I'm not, you know, yeah, it's just not going to happen. Okay, I really want to put this deer in here, y'all. I really want to put this deer in here, but it's not going to be perfect. And I think that's okay because if I do the messy edges, I think I can make it look okay. I think I can make it look right. So I'm going to take some of this brown from here. I want to kind of avoid these leaves right here. So I think I'm going to go up this way and then I think I'm going to take the brown in another spot on this page. So let's kind of get this started while I'm letting this kind of dry and finish doing its thing. I'm going to start getting this one started and then I'm going to seal in that paint and then we can start decoupaging. Okay, so let's get my cup of water, get my clean paintbrush, and we'll just start. Let's go for it. I did kind of know that this wasn't going to completely fit, and I also knew that it was going to be like it was not going to fit on the side of that either. So that's why I'm going with the spot in the middle or the inside. Normally you wouldn't put something on the inside, but we're gonna do it anyways. Okay, so now I'm just gonna pull away on that paper. Again, I like to put my finger down to kind of just keep it from pulling where I don't necessarily want it to pull. It's not an exact science by any means, but you kind of get a little bit of a better chance of getting it where you want it. Okay, I'm going to set this aside and kind of work on this just a little bit. Okay, so obviously we don't want a clean edge on this side either. So just going to kind of do that number there. Pull that away. Okay, get rid of that. Go to this side. Yeah, look at me, I'm a messy crafter, y'all. Are y'all messy when you craft? Like, I need extra space when I craft just because I make such a mess. Yeah. Yeah, you are, Terry. Yeah, I'm such a mess. And and things, I heard someone the other day say, I'm so slow at crafting. And it's like, I don't think that there's a slow or a fast. I think it's just you do what you do. And um, sometimes the speed is good. And sometimes you need a little bit longer. A lot of it has to do with what kind of crafting you're doing. If you're using paint, how many layers is there to your project? Just things like that. Gosh, if I so in the winter time when we're using our wood stove, I try really hard not to use my heat gun if I don't have to. And a lot of times I'll just go and set my project by my wood stove and let the heat from that like do the job on my because then I'm not using the electricity because these heat guns they use a lot of electricity. So okay. And like I said, it scares my dog. They scare my dogs, and I don't like to do that to my pups. So okay. So let's bring this one back on over and let's seal this in with our decoupage medium liquid patina. We'll get a quick seal on this because it is porous, y'all. This is milk paint or chalk paint. The white is chalk paint and clay based, but it still needs to be sealed. And then the green is milk paint. That will all need to be sealed as well. And it doesn't matter how you seal it. I mean, you can seal it with liquid sealer. You can seal it with wax, spray on. Just as long as you're sealing it in, you're good. Because both kinds of paint can be reactivated with water. They're water soluble. So you just want to be aware of that. Make sure you realize you're going to have to seal in your paint. Okay. There we go. Y'all. Okay. Get that closed up for a minute and zap this real quick with a yeah. Mitchell May June. It's gonna be in 0 to Hero. Oh, I know what it was, y'all. My DNA thingy. It said low tolerance for. Okay, I think I need to take off more of that. Low tolerance for. Okay, probably right above the deer, y'all. I have a low tolerance for bitter tastes, but I have a high tolerance for caffeine. And I'm like, okay. There we go. This might actually work out in my favor though, y'all, because I do need a little extra on the one side. So I might be able to make this work out in my favor. There we go. Ooh, look at me go right there. Didn't even take out the butterfly, y'all. Look at how good I was. Okay, I'm gonna set that aside. And we're gonna get this guy down and then we'll work on the extra pieces. I think that's how we'll do it. Okay, so I think I'll go from this edge over. Okay, get rid of that. Get that out of the way. I'm always afraid, y'all. I'm gonna like drop my I'm gonna spill my water on my work surface. Anybody else have those kinds of fears? Okay. Here we go. So just laying down some more of the liquid patina, which is my Mod Podge medium. It's not an exact science, but I think it's going to work just fine. And then I'm just going to kind of smooth that down in there. It's going up on the sides a little bit, but I'm perfectly fine with that because I think that'll be just fine. Just fine. Okay. I'm going to pull back just a little bit and add more. I'm just going to do it in little sections, y'all. So that it's not, like I said, I don't worry too much about wrinkles because wrinkles are going to happen when you're working with decoupage. Wrinkles are going to happen. You can embrace them. And there's tricks and things that you can do with them if you get them in there. Of course, you know, you want to try to mitigate some of it, but and realize that sometimes when you are when you're working with a project and there's wrinkles in there, over time as the wrinkle or as the project dries, those wrinkles are going to sometimes flatten out. They don't, not all wrinkles stay. So okay. Ooh, this is so good. Okay. I actually only had just a little bit go up on the sides, y'all. Most of it stayed down. So, or stayed in the, was in the spot I want it to be in. Oh my gosh, the words. Okay. I think that's pretty good, y'all. Pretty good. Okay. So, there we have it so far. Like I said, a little bit went up and over, but for the most part, we're pretty good. We are pretty good. Okay. So now I want to, I'm going to put this in my baggie for just a second because I am going to need to work on getting this next piece cut up. Okay. Close that up, close this up. Ugh. Grab my piece of paper, my Roycycle paper here. Okay, where the other piece is that has that brown is all the way down on this other end, down here with the with the owl. And so when I do this one, of course, I need to I want to make sure that I'm not messing up my owl design. I don't want to not be able to use that down the road. So we're going to try really hard to play nice with Mr. Owl. And here we go. And I might as well just take the whole little bit here. So, okay. There's that. I love it when a plan comes together, y'all. Okay. So now that I have that, I'm going to need to go around the edge because I don't want it to look seamless, but I also want to see, let's see, if I go right there, then I need to go right there. Okay. I'm not a measurer, y'all. I mean, kinda, but not really. And then this edge, this bottom edge is going to be, like, I'm a paper crafter, and in paper crafting, you have to measure, right? But when you don't have to, I'm an eyeballer. I like to eyeball my stuff. Okay, there we go. That's going to go in a garbage pile. And then this is going to go down here. Okay, now to figure out what I want to do for up here. I think I'm just going to kind of place some of these pieces up there. Okay, so let's move that out of the way. Grab this back over. Well, I hope y'all are enjoying watching this this crafting I'm doing. Nothing real super special about it, but it's fun. Okay, I'm just gonna put that there and sticker it on down. Y'all getting to see my head? There we go. Not perfect, but pretty dang cool, pretty dang good. Okay, now let's see. I need about yay much of this one several times over. So So I'm going to go here. Rip that apart. And then, let's see, we'll go here. Let's see what that gives me. Let's see where we are with that one. Go up to the top and do the top first. This piece. Get in there, fingers. Oh, that's kind of crooked. I don't like that. Come back. I almost need tweeters, y'all. There, that's better. Okay. Smooth her on down. Okay. And then do this piece down here. That's fine. I think I just did that upside down. No, those letters are right. But those numbers are, maybe that's the way it's supposed to be. Maybe that's just how it is. Okay. So now I'm going to use the top of this piece because I don't really want to break up this word right here. So I think I'm going to use this piece instead. Oh, you can tell that's what I'm doing, huh? Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm always working with the paintbrush in my mouth. It's the truth. That's how we roll. Okay. All right. I only need it to be about that big, so if even that. All right. Get rid of that piece. Pull off that piece. I really love this rice paper though. It's so forgiving and there's so many elements to it that you can part and piece and okay. Get that out of the way. Let's see how far this goes on this. It's pretty thin. It's pretty thin. Might have to add a little bit more in there to make it look right. Little bit more. Well, y'all, here's a question for you guys. Here's a question. Do you guys have your drinks sitting on your craft table and your water sitting on your craft table and accidentally dip your paintbrush into your drink instead of Jeff, what time does she need to go? Dip your paintbrush into your drink instead of into your water. I don't know how many times I've had coffee in my crafts because I've dipped it in the wrong one. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, we can make that work. We can make that work. Sorry, y'all. We're parenting at the same time. There we go. Get that out of the way. Hey, Kaden. Yeah. Can you go get Caleb for me, please? Sure. All right, y'all. Here we go. Stick this one down. There we go. There we go. Like it was always supposed to be like that. Now, what I think I'm gonna do, because I don't, this is all pieced together over here and not over here. I think I'm gonna do a little piecing over here just to make it look like it's all that way. So I think I'm gonna do this. can you go pick up your sister from school, please? 3:20.
I know.
Okay. I don't want you to take her to the expo, but I would like for you to go get her from school and then come here, and then by then I'll be done with my video.
Do you
Okay.
know if we're taking her sheep or not?
I don't think so. I think it's just setting up her pin tonight, and then we take Gizmo tomorrow.
Okay.
So yeah, I think I'm gonna put that right there, y'all. What do you guys think of that? I think that's gonna look good.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm trying to, you guys, I'm trying to look at the chat because I'm not used to crafting, or yeah, I'm not used to doing this with my, without my tablet right in front of me. That's normally how I do it. Okay. So these words that I didn't want to cut up and separate because I thought that would look weird. We're just going to add those right there. Ta-da. Okay. Y'all, look at how cute this is. This turned out so good. So good. Okay, so there we go, y'all. That's, well, let me get it back in frame here where you guys can see it. Whoop, okay, there we go. Maybe that's the wrong way. There we go. There you can see it in the light. Okay, and then ta-da! So good. And that brown color that's kind of coming through, that's gonna pair really nice with the brown in there. I think that'll look really good. So, okay, y'all. So we did this one here. It's gonna get handles, but it's gonna be sideways. Okay. And then we have, where'd it go? This one here that's going to go in this tray. Okay. It's gonna go in that tray with the handles. And then we have this tote. Okay, this tote here. I am going to do the sides, and the sides are going to get, let me share with y'all. The sides are going to get two different parts to this. They're going to get the flowers here. So I might do the flowers like this and do two pieces because it's pretty thin. But if I do need to add other flowers, there is this piece here as well on this sheet. So those flowers are going to go into onto the sides of that tote. And then y'all look at this. Look at that elk right there. How cool is that? Such a cool elk. And so yeah, this still has a lot of goodies on it that we can do. So I'm really excited to finish playing with this, y'all. But apparently I need to go and be a parent right now. So I'm going to have to jump off, y'all. And, but thank you guys so much for joining me for this chat and craft. One of these beautiful projects is going to go into the Zero to Hero on Friday, just a couple days. Make sure you guys bookmark that. Check back in my bin because I do have a couple of fun prints that I'm going to be adding to my bin here pretty soon. I have a baseball one that I'm going to be doing. There's a lake house one as well that's going to be a lot of fun. So those are going into the bin here in the next day or two. And yeah, y'all, thanks so much. I appreciate you guys, and I will catch you guys later. Thank you guys so much for being with me. And let's go ahead and end the show. I'm not going to raid over just because I can't stay, and I don't like to raid and not stay. So I'll just see you guys later. Bye, guys.